You're listening to Unspooled, the podcast where failed prints are just part of the journey. Hosted by Corey from Moji 3D, the guy who thinks filament is a personality trait, and Steve from Layer by Layer, who probably has more spools of filament than forks. Every week we dive into 3D printing, making, and the occasional rant. So grab your favorite filament and let's get unspooled.
Hello. How's everybody doing? We are alive. And we are live.
And live.
Unspooled episode 33. So
33.
Steve, Layer by Layer, Corey, Moji, and we're going to be joined by a guest momentarily later. How you doing, Steve?
I'm good. I was in the middle of fighting a sneeze. I don't know if you could tell on camera. It was like
you hit it well.
Yeah, I did. And then it went away. I'm good, man. You know, it's Wednesday. I kind of like the Wednesday slot. It's right in the middle of the week.
Yeah. Hump day.
Kind of gives us a little bit more time to like prepare, and it's not like it's just there. Even though it's literally a 1 day difference, but I think I like it.
I think I do too. So hopefully it works for everybody else. And welcome in GTR Dad. Welcome in Additive Adam.
Yep.
What else we got? I think I saw the Mad Owl in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But, so what have you been up to since last week?
Man, I've just been making vases.
Vase.
That's right. I don't even have one down here. They're upstairs.
Steve is a fancy man, and he calls them vases.
I've been making vases all week.
Yep.
Using some Python code, not to make the vases, but to decorate them. I wish I had one down here. I didn't even think about it. But basically to kind of do like gradient striping on them. And so that's been fun. The hardest part about it is having to do the layer swaps. So I don't know if I can figure out how to get that into the code. Then it'll be even funner. But as for now, that's literally been kind of like all I was doing. I got some other stuff coming up, but I don't want to talk about it just yet. I might jinx myself, but it should be pretty cool. I'll know something maybe within like the next few weeks. Filaments coming in, all kinds of cool stuff, man. What about yourself?
Same thing. Lots of printing, lots of designing. So I think we talked last week. We've been doing. I've been printing a lot of these. So these are treads for a swerve drive for a first robotics robot. So these are in TPU. They are 100% infill and they're very spiky.
Nice.
But I've been printing. I got to print 3 sets of these, which is 12 of them, which they take like 6.5 hours to print one, or you can do 4 a whole set on a plate, and it's like 15 hours. I mean, TPU doesn't necessarily print fast, and it's printing good. So,
nice.
Yeah, and then just designing some other parts, playing with some new filaments and stuff. So
I think that I did design something cool. I don't know. I don't want to show it just in case he's watching, about design something cool for one of my friends. He just got his doctorate. So
that was cool. That was a cool one.
It took a while to kind of get it tuned in, but I got it tuned in. So that was fun. Trying to think of anything else. Just literally just been trying to like make new stuff. Thinking about getting the Etsy store back up and running. I say back up and running like it was gangbusters. It was not. It was not. Right. Let me rephrase that. I'm thinking about getting the Etsy store running. I won't say back up and running.
Mine's had like peaks and valleys. Right now there's literally just a single STL file of a model that I made like 8-9 years ago that's been there that still sells. I don't know how, but it still does. But I gotta do that same thing as well. But
trying to think, did I use any new software? No, not Python is pretty cool. I've been using
Python is awesome. Love Python.
Using I don't know if I was even ChatGPT or when I'm to kind of check the code and clean it up, which I mean, it's amazing for that kind of stuff to kind of like optimize your code and
Yep.
you know. But it was like it had me thinking like after how many optimizations is it even still your code? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
it's still your idea.
I mean that's kind of that ongoing debate, right? Like like if you use hey KM double, welcome in. So yeah, I mean that's the ongoing thing with AI, right? Like AI, like, no matter what you're using it for, like if you use it to write the initial code and then you edit it, or you write the initial code and then you use ChatGPT to clean it up. Like, is it ever is it ever your code?
Exactly.
I mean, I argue that no, it's yours and ChatGPT's, right? Like, which a collaboration. I don't hate it. I mean, I use it every day, and I am not apologetic about it either. I like it. I think AI is a useful tool. And I love it.
I mean, like we've established how I feel. I think that eventually, like, I think when we had the conversation, I think you said like a year from now, I'd like to see how you feel about it. I think I'll still feel the same way about it, but I also I don't think I want to be like left behind the curve in a sense because I'm like being stubborn. It's not going away. You know, it's like
it's only
it's probably similar to like dudes that were still cooking over open fire versus someone with the first stove. And it's like, oh no, this is the way to do it. And then someone's like, I'm inside my cabin, cooking the same thing you're cooking, and it's a lot more control. So
or eating rice with your hands because you don't like chopsticks, right? Because chopsticks are, like, I mean, it's any type of new technology is always an issue. It's always going to be something. My thing behind it is that, like, I don't like the original AI. It was trained, all of these LMs were trained on stolen material, right? Like they were able to scrape the internet thing. That I didn't like, but that ship has sailed, right? That cat's not going back in the bag like that. That's and whether you liked it or you didn't like it, it's kind of a moot point at this point. And then, I mean, yes, people use it to create all kinds of good things and all kinds of bad things, but that's just human nature, right? Like humans are going to use any tool at their disposal for good and evil. So
So now, speaking of AI, because my K1 Double is actually one of my closest friends, and he sent me a question. Right, the question literally this was at like 7:10, like right before the show. He says, "Do you think that the popularity of 3D printing and the emergence of AI will lead to more efficient means of construction equipment, i.e., autonomous building?" So, I mean, we see it. It's happening in Texas, like all over Texas, to be honest. And they're building whole communities with.
I mean, I live in Maine. We're building them here now. We've got we have an entire neighborhood that is 3D printed houses, and they're 3D printed using a material that is extruded that is made out of biomass. So it's made out of wood byproducts, right? So when you make paper, all the crap that comes from that. When you cut logs, you have all of the brush and the things that they would normally either burn or chip, or a lot of times it's even the stuff that's too small to chip. They're now using that to make the stuff, and they're printing houses out of them. Low cost houses. So I mean, I think, and the crazy thing about it is that these houses have something like 80% less waste. So they did a time lapse of a traditional stick-built house, and the same house basically built with this 3D printed biomass, right? And the time lapse of the construction of the stick-built house, the dumpster in the yard left and returned something like 36 times, right? This dumpster went in and out with construction debris of just normal stuff. With the 3D printed house, the construction dumpster left and came back twice.
Yeah.
Because there's just not as much waste, of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's cool. So yes,
So
and I like
he
it.
says, so there's so many components to the house: plumbing, HVAC, electrical, not just the structure, is what he means. So like the way that they do it is they kind of like carve it out. Think of it as like cement, basically, but they're laying it layer by layer. And so and it's literally like toothpaste, like someone extruding it around and building the house. And then there's still parts where they come in and like they'll put in like door arches throughout the process, or pieces for door arches, or like pieces for like plumbing and that part of the infrastructure. But like they're literally kind of like just building this thing like extruding toothpaste or caulk out of a caulk gun, and it's just going around and building it up and then just retracing over it. And like you could literally build that same house in miniature on your 3D printer at home, the components that they're building. And then they're still applying, they're still putting like real ceilings on them and real roofs on them. But
so these are the houses they're building in my town. The whole structure and everything is extruded. You can see the layer lines on the top of the roof. But yeah, I mean, I think what he's saying, like, will they ever 3D print pipe? Will they ever 3D print parts for things? And I have seen 3D printed tile for like bathrooms. I haven't seen, and I mean, I've 3D printed I 3D printed a knob on a shower that broke for someone, and they couldn't get that knob anymore. So
I think the pipes and stuff are so uncomplicated that that would probably be one of the last things that we'd see them.
Well, it's tough too, because I mean, 3D printing by itself, or FDM, it's not watertight, right?
Exactly.
So, or it's
but I mean,
easily watertight.
With the housing stuff, that stuff is more viscous than filament is, and in some situations they have like particles in it that allow them to cure it via like UV. So it's like laying it and curing it at the same time. Whereas with our type of printers, we're using air to cool something that's very, very hot. The stuff that they're using may not be hot at all, but there could be some thermal reactions going on once they mix the stuff together and put it down to build the walls and stuff. But in most cases that I've seen, they're using like some type of the ones that I've seen videos on, they were using like some type of UV curing process to kind of like harden it, but that may not always be the case for all of them.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm for. I mean, I would love to eventually live in a 3D printed house. Obviously, right? I mean, everything in my life is 3D printed. And I would love to eventually see everything created with additive manufacturing, whether it's resin or FDM or FFF or SLS. Like it's economical. So
Adam said you can hue forge a floor. That way, actually.
So the tiles that I saw, I believe that they were resin printed tiles that they were using. And it was just backsplash, right? It wasn't like flooring or a tub or anything like that.
Yeah.
They had just done decorative tiles that were resin printed, and it was kind of neat. But yeah, I mean, well, I have seen like furniture, right? Like those Adirondack chairs that I just showed in that picture. I've seen 3D printed Adirondack chairs. I've seen 3D printed Adirondack style chairs, right? Like not individual slats. They were just printed all at once. But we're getting 3D printed furniture now.
That's the thing, is that I don't think that like 3D printing will be like everyone will have a 3D printer in their house. I still don't think that. I think we're decades away from every house having 3D printed. It's not that kind of thing. It is still in the tool stage, and I think it'll live in the tool stage for a very long time, because even if you had one in the house, how often would someone use it every day? You don't need to print a spoon every day. You don't need to print a bowl every day. People will still just go and buy, a bowl or a spoon
But we have gotten to the point where, like, where you said tool, right? It is a tool, and it's a serviceable tool, not like it used to be, right? Like, so if you have a if you have a DeWalt chop saw, you have to eventually replace that blade, right? So you have to replace the blade because it either wears out, or you need a different type of blade to cut a different type of material, or to make a different type of cut. So you go from a 20-tooth blade to a 60-tooth blade. So 3D printers are like that now, where it's very easy, like just unbolting a blade and putting a new one on, where you just in some cases, like a Bamboo or an Anycubic or the new Creality, where you just unclip. You don't even have to unbolt. You just unclip a hot end, pull it off, put a new one on. So 3D printers have always been a tool, but I think now we're at a point where it's a tool that almost anybody can use, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
You know, you gotta have some computer skills, right, to run the slicer, or to at least have a phone app that you can print from, or a phone that you can print from an app.
Everyone is not as deep into it as we are. We always have to remind ourselves of that. You have some people who, you know, just got into it 2 or 3 years ago, and all they know is their printer. They don't know, you know, like the history of 3D printing. So, you know, but it'll get to the point where, like you said, you know, more and more people will know about it. They'll understand it and understand the benefits of it. They'll know that, hey, I don't necessarily need one, but there's the equivalent of like a Kinko's in the neighborhood where I can send a file to and they can print it out, and I can just go over there and pick it up, you know, later that day, or, you know.
Like I'd like to see more, you know, and I know as a society, we're moving away from brick and mortar stuff, right, to more online ordering and all that stuff. But I would still like to see more. I would like to go to more towns of all different sizes and see 3D printing shops, right? Like what Digital Dragon is doing now, or you know, where you go and you've got a shop where you can buy different supplies, or get a printer looked at and repaired, or take an educational class on how to print and walk away with a printer, stuff like that.
Think about like out in the you know, in the West, out where you have, you know, people who live, you know, the next town might not be for like another, you know, 60 or 100 miles, or, you know, remote places like in Alaska and even some of the tropical islands and stuff, where, you know, to get something from Amazon is like a 2-week process or something. But if it's like, oh, I need a new knob for my stove, or a faceplate for my, you know, my mini ATX, whatever, you know, like all those things, you could just send those files to someone, like even if it's just someone that's registered as a local printer person or whatever, print that stuff out, and then you get it. You know,
I live 5 minutes from a Lowe's and a Home Depot, and I still will print everything I can.
Oh, by far, because we have access to it. It's like it took a while to get to that mind state, though, and that's not to say that I print everything, but if it's something simple and I can pull a file and I don't have to get up and I can do all of that and send it to my machine, I'm gonna just go ahead and send it to. I got the material here, and I know that it'll work for whatever it is. I'm gonna just do it that way.
Yeah. So we do have some news, 3D printing related news stuff, but we kind of want to wait till after our guests to talk about that, right?
Real quick, one more. It says, and will it help cure the housing costs currently plaguing our country? Depends on whose hands it gets into. You know, could it be cheaper? Sure, but it's also like, you know, shipping container homes. Banks still won't back a shipping container home, and they could technically be cheaper than what they are, but, you know, a bank won't finance it because it's new. So hopefully 3D printing houses and buildings won't have to suffer that same kind of like fate. And it is still new, so it does need to be fleshed out a little while longer and see like what are some of the potential you know, downfalls, if any, of a 3D printed house. You know, maybe if it's somewhere very warm, it cracks, or if it's somewhere very cold, it cracks, or, you know. So
I mean, houses in Maine that are built now, that have been built for the last 100 years, crack in the winter.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
we can only go up from here, because even stick built homes crack.
Can you imagine? They'd be like, "Hey, my home, the layer shifted a little bit the other day. Can I get a guy to come out here and fix that?"
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So,
yeah, we have.
so
You want to go to the guests, or
do we want to bring in the guest?
Yeah,
Is the guest ready to come in?
He looks ready.
All right, so we're gonna bring in the guest, and most of you guys are gonna know him.
And most of you guys are gonna know him.
All right.
Our guest today is Joel Finn, aka Nighcore AKA Polymaker Joel.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Joel, how you doing?
On? Not too bad. The man with multiple personalities, Joel, Nighcore, Polymaker Joel. There's probably some more you don't know about.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows Polymaker Joel.
Yeah, especially now. You're the man of the hour. The man of the more than the hour, because everyone bothers you for filament.
Before we get into too much, Gorilla Biscuits is back, and I gotta say, I just like that name. I like saying that name, Gorilla Biscuits.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. It's a good name.
Not as well, so is Nighcore though. Nighcore's a good name.
Yeah, and we won't go into the story of the name of Nighcore. Those in the know the backstory of Nighcore.
So you saw me getting ready. I was loading up. I was like,
where'd that come from?
I mean, the name lately has been Master Goopa, but
Master Goopa.
Goopa.
Yeah, I just installed something,
Oh, nice! Look at that,
oh,
dude.
Yeah, that's cool.
Wait, you gotta zoom him.
Oh, wait, that's the one from
Micro
what's
Crux?
the movie? Yes.
No.
Oh,
no, it's Micro Crux is the designer, but it's the tick.
Yeah. Okay. You know what it looks like?
Look at that! Oh, dude, that is sick.
So if anybody doesn't know, we're big Arc Raiders players, and
I'm not. I barely play.
Yeah, the tick is a thing that jumps on your face all the time.
It took me a while to get that all mounted properly, or else I was gonna be introduced with it on my face. But
does it have like a mounting point underneath it? Does it have like somewhere where you can mount it? Oh,
yeah. Nice. Yeah, so it's got a base plate, and then it's got a wall mount that it kind of slides into, and the wall mount. So it's all double sided, so it's not screwed and everything. But
how long does it take to print?
Okay. Well, a day, but it's so that's all in ASA. So it's ASA white and ASA black.
Yeah.
And it's because I have a ton of white ASA and black ASA, so I had to use it. But I did it on multiple. I think it's 5 or 6 plates. But I did it on multiple printers all at once, so it didn't take as long. I think the longest plate is 11 hours maybe. It's all in parts, and most of it's pressure fit with a little bit of glue spots. You can glue everything if you want. But it's all it has articulation on 3 points of the legs.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's wicked.
That is. Yeah,
I wish I had designed that first.
It's I was really saying design, but go ahead.
Is it kind of wonky, or is it?
There was a few things. There's a couple of files that were missing from the print. There still is. So I actually modified the wall mount. I made my own piece because it's missing one piece. But the designer has been responsive. He added the ones for these little top pieces. I'm sure he'll add the wall mount, but I did do, which actually I can take that. But then it's got the one thing that's missing. Like if you watch the pictures, if you go look at Micro, it's like Micro Crux. The vents aren't in there. The files aren't either.
Oh, yeah.
He just used screen, like window screen, and cut it out and put it in there. But I just modeled up little mesh things. So I need to email him. I told him I'll share them with him because these are just pressure fit. Those just snap right in place. But yeah, other than that, like I said, there's some glue parts for the body, but it's all
that's cool. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to print one of those.
And and that's just got a little.
I told him I want to do a hexapod, and I was like, it would be cool to make a hexapod that looks like that.
Yeah, it's like a face hugger.
Right.
Looks like So that in game, that's what you look like. You take it off, and then you try to shoot it, and they're fast, and you end up.
Yeah, it's a fun little print. It finished, and the wall mount just finished, so I installed it pre-show. The unveiling of the stick.
They've been spitting those files out pretty fast, considering they're doing. I'm assuming they're pulling screen grabs and then doing some photogrammetry on them or whatever. But they can spit
yeah,
them
I'm
out pretty
guessing.
fast.
Yeah, 'cause I even seen on I think Maker World. I had to look it up again, but I think was it the shield pack or something. I mean, there's been quite a few like different weapons and grenades and stuff. So I mean, yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. So I thought that one was cool, and I seen it was like $5 for the file, so it was worth it.
Super popular because when their first game came out, the finals. If anybody is familiar with Arc, it's Embark Studios, but their first game was the finals. So I started early on designing like a bunch of the gadgets from their game. So it's cool to see. It's cool to see Arc stuff. And Steve, it actually, you and I had talked about it early on. We were like, oh, we gotta design some of the.
I said, dude, we gotta get on these files, man.
There's still plenty that's missing.
Yeah, we haven't had time because when we're not doing 3D printing, we're usually playing the game. So,
yeah, pretty much.
that is a time
and our normal jobs too, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm also working.
But that's like a time suck, so it like takes all the design time.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so just for the uninformed, the uneducated amongst the audience, how'd your journey start in 3D printing?
I've always been a tech guy. Always suffer from FOMO, fear of missing out. So it's like, oh, new tech, let's get it. Go through the growing pains of that. 3D printing was on the radar for a while, but even back then, it was still expensive. It was accessible to an extent, but my thing is a lot of the things are phases, and I hate to spend a lot of money on something that I'm going to do for 2 or 3 months and then drop it. So luckily enough, one of my friends was in the same boat. He was the one that bit the bullet first. He bought, I think, a mono price little tiny one, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll check back in a few months, see if you're actually still printing. So a few months go by, check in with him. Well, then he had already sold that to upgrade to a larger print bed, which was the Ender 3. I'm like, okay, I'm still, we'll see. Let's check another few months more. And he's like, actually, I'm looking to buy Ender 5. I think it was, Ender 5. So he's like, do you want to buy my Ender 3 for me? Gave it to me super, super cheap. I'm like, yeah, for that, I'll take the gamble. If I don't end up doing it much, then it's, no big deal. I'll resell it, make my money back. And I still have the original Ender 3 that I started with. And that's what started it all, the rabbit hole. And then realizing what I can print, printing more, then finding the community, being involved with that. And just, it's kind of steamrolled from there. And it was just the desire for new tech. And I thought it was cool. And like I said, they just got the opportunity to get into it very cheap with minimal risk. And now I have way more printers than I need to have.
As we all do.
And filament. And filament.
Yes. Even pre-Polymaker and filament. Yeah, it's just I have a bad habit with not just the FOMO, but collection. So, I start getting multiple colors in a series. Like, well, I might as well buy the other 6 colors and just have the whole series. And then, of course, there's other series and other brands. And, I started out just buying Micro Center. I've got 2 Micro Centers an hour and a half away. Every time we go to Cincinnati or Columbus, stopping by Micro Center, checking out what they have new, and usually grabbing a couple spools, and that escalated rather quickly.
Man, so would half away? That's kind of far. Jeez.
Would pre Ender 3 Joel or Ender 3 Joel ever think that you'd be working in additive manufacturing and filament?
Absolutely not. Because I mean, even at that point, I'd been in retail management for probably 12 to 15 years at that point. So retail management was what I've done ever since I graduated high school, never went to college. I just, you get into that position, and I think most of us have all been there. If it pays the bills, it's easy to just stick with it because it's what it's what you're comfortable with. Yeah. I just assumed I was in that rut and I'm gonna have to deal with it. Retail management had its perks, its ups and downs. There are people that I'm still friends with, whether employees or customers. I don't miss that part of it. The most recently before Polymaker was car dealerships, and that just the politics and the environment is it's toxic, at least for my location. I can't speak for everybody. So when this opportunity presented itself, it was a no-brainer. Normally when you're offered a position somewhere, it's usually let me think about it overnight, let me think about it for a few days, and it was There was no thinking. My wife wanted me to start that day that I had a phone call from Nick. I put in my 2 weeks because I'm respectful. No matter what, I always put my 2 weeks in, and but I definitely to go back on the question to answer directly. Absolutely never figured of any facet. I just always figured it'd be a hobby / passion that I'd make some side money selling some dragons, selling helmets, selling whatever, whatever the next fad is. But yeah, it became much more than that, quite quickly actually.
And how long has it been since we've been with Polymaker?
Almost a year and a half. So
wow, it seems like way longer than that.
Actually, so next month will be hour and a half. It'd be an hour and a half next month. A year and a half.
Yeah. Wow. So you've done a lot in a year and a half, really, because I mean, I think for me, I would have said like, oh, you've been with him for like 3 years. It just seems like that long.
So the community might feel that way just because when I first started doing anything with Polymaker, before being really known in the community, because honestly, even when I was in the Polymaker Discord originally, I was more of a lurker. I wasn't talking a whole lot. I mean, if there was something I could answer, I would answer, but I wasn't super active. But I offered to help out at events. Murph is only a 2.5 hour drive for me. I had already been going to the rep events for about the last year prior. And I just offered to help out at the booth. And then from there, it kind of just steamrolled. It was 2023. I helped out Murph. I was offered opportunity to be sponsored to come to, well, at that point, Earth. And just that was just a community volunteer. Now I sponsored, they paid for flight and stay and everything. But I'm like, if I can go to the event for free and get a help out, that's great. So then that fast forward to the end of 2023. Now I was asked if I wanted to do some kind of basic contractor work. I was on contract. I started my full-time job, so this is more of a side stuff to help keep Discord active, try to do some changes there. Of course, meet the Polymaker Twitch show and just work on some of the stuff there. And I figured that was kind of a 12-month thing. Maybe at the end of the year, it would renew. We'd maybe do some more events and everything. But it was actually, I think, 3 or 4 months into it. Everything has just been going well from the year prior, then to be officially on contract with them. The events were going great. Nick had asked, he's like, hey, I have some opportunity at the end of the year. We're going to start building our NA team, or our North American team. And because there wasn't really much there. I think it was Nick and Oriana, who does our graphic and design, and then Sean, who does customer experience. Past that, there wasn't really much there. And then, he's like,
Oriana's in Europe, right?
Yeah, she's out of Spain. She's part of the NA team, but she lives in Spain.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that it's he didn't really tell me what the position was, just more of gauge my interest. Would you ever be interested in working for Polymaker? Yeah.
Yes.
Even then I was kind of just I was more thinking like, okay, it's probably gonna be some small role, not a big deal, nothing I can quit my full-time job for. So I'm waiting, of course, for the end of 2024 to happen to see what's this position, what's gonna be. And it was around June, actually, he'd called me. We're on a video call. I've told this story before, but it's instilled in my mind because it's definitely a core memory. I was actually with my wife. We were coming from a doctor's appointment. She was driving. I was on the phone video chatting with Nick, and he was going over like the details of what the position was, and asking, "Are you comfortable doing that?" I'm like, "Oh, absolutely. It sounds great." And even then, I'm still thinking, okay, he's just more again gauging that interest. We still got another 6 months till something might happen, and that's when he'd asked, like, "Well, when can you start?" And my wife at that time was getting out of the vehicle, and she heard that part of the conversation. She pops back in. And Nick had met her like on video call, because we video called a handful of times. So she comes in, she's on the screen. She's like, "Now, right now."
Yeah, right now.
And I'm like, no, not right now. 2 weeks. And just everything escalated. I mean, they grew faster than expected. They needed the position filled sooner than later. And they just, it all really fell in my lap. I mean, I don't like to blame everything on luck. I like to think some of it's skill, but just very, very fortunate to be in the position I'm in.
Yeah.
And I'll say, because I think right after 3D Printopia, I didn't meet you like directly at 3D Printopia, but we were like in the same room a couple of times.
And I remember you come to the booth. I remember talking to you because I think when we and you finally connected like on Discord, I don't even remember when that point was. It took a little bit. The gears return, and then I think you mentioned photography, and I remember that part of the conversation. I'm like, Yeah, okay, no, we met at 3D Printopia, or well, Earth at that time, I think. But yeah, it's just a small world.
And I was like, this dude works for Polymaker, you know. Excuse me. And I'm like, dude works for Polymaker. And then, you know, I joined the Discord and then met all the guys that were on there and ladies that were on there as well. And so to see, like, you know, it go from, you know, volunteering and passion to like where it's at now, it's cool. A lot of people think this stuff just falls into people's laps. You gotta kind of like work at it, and you gotta put stuff in motion. You know, I probably wouldn't even be where I'm at with this podcast if Corey didn't put it in motion. It was something that we both wanted to do, but Corey took the initiative to.
It's one of those things where, like, I always like, you know, I've talked with people over the years that whatever their hobby is, you know, the hobby ends up becoming the job, and it's like, it's not luck, right? It's a lot of nights and weekends and overnights and like behind the scenes stuff
and meeting people,
and socializing and you know, and putting yourself out there and helping and doing something, and then that night and weekend hobbies thing ends up becoming a full-time job, whether you start a business or an established business offers you a job. You know, and it's like
that's even when I first got hired. I mean, I had multiple people like, hey, how do I get into with Polymaker? And like there's no real formula, but like you guys said, is that's a lot of that doesn't get seen is the fact of, you know, I was spending a lot of time at that point, especially once I was on contract. I became a lot more active on Discord, doing the live hangouts, wee hours of the night, definitely not falling asleep at the computer, doing the show, doing the Meet the Polymaker.
That's just crazy.
Yeah.
Why would you even bring that up?
Setup and who would ever fall asleep at the computer on Discord?
I'm not kidding. I'm running on fumes at the moment.
I'm always running on fumes, but that's the trick. But no, it was just that it was a lot of it. And what I tell people, it's not a formula, it's not a guaranteed thing. I did all that because I enjoyed it. I love being part of something, and it just happened to lead to something. I never did any of that thinking, yeah, okay, if I keep doing this, maybe they'll hire me. Not in any world did I think that could be an end result. But I think that goes with anything. Not that sound all cheesy, is it's a lot of the effort with what you put into it, and not looking for the pat on the back, doing the job, you know, having that integrity is whether somebody's looking or not, doing it. If you get the pat on the back, great. Sometimes you won't. I've been in plenty of positions or jobs where it wasn't appreciated. You do record numbers and it's just like, okay, that was yesterday. So what about today?
Another 10%.
But like all that really led to it, because even my retail, you know, journey was I managed rent to own stores. Did really well. The job that I worked out of high school at a dealership, they had heard that I was doing well in the retail world with rent-a-centers, and did one, flipped it, went to another one, turned that around. So they just heard through the grapevine, and then they started, you know, coming to me like, hey, would you ever be interested in coming back to the dealership? And you know, after ghosted them like 3 different times, we finally sat down for a breakfast and talked it over and end up taking it. But that was just another example of just working hard. You know, it's even if it's not the perfect job, the job that you want, the job that you love. Trust me, the last year of working retail, I did not want to be there. Did not want to be there at all. Definitely was there for the paycheck, but I still had pride in the job. I still took pride in everything that I did. I was still going to hit the next goal, hit the next, you know, record, whatever it might be, no matter what, because that was my internal thing of I want to succeed. I don't care if, you know, Joe Blow, boss guy, you know, doesn't give a crap about you and you're a number. Do it for yourself, because that experience and being able to show that to the next employer, you can stair step it. I'm not saying everybody will get the ideal position, you know, next night or after 6 months or 12 years of working hard. It just, you keep doing it, and it will pay off one way or another.
Hard work and a little luck, you know, and you get
for sure.
There, you know?
I also think you have to like not be afraid to put yourself out there, but then also recognize that you don't be a nuisance about it. You know what I mean? So like, you know, if you want to help, you know, step into it just from the point of view of I want to help, I want to be a part of something. And not worry about something coming from it. Don't be like, hey, I helped you guys out. Can I get a couple rolls of filament? That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Can I get some
and
so, like just if you're passionate about it, Like let that passion be what fuels you, through the process. Like I've stumbled into some stuff, just even hanging out with, in a Polymaker Discord, just being a member there gets you access to things that you would not get access to, and lets you participate in stuff that you would not participate in with a lot of other companies. Not like throwing shade or anything. You guys do things different. You're very active in the community, and then you have a community within the community that you're active with as well. So there's input that comes from the community, and then from that input, you guys put back into some of your core community people, as well as somebody who walks up with a good idea, and it's just like, this is a great idea. We're gonna throw some rolls of filament, at this new person to the community, because you see the promise and what could come from it, and how it could I could turn into something cool.
I mean, I think I mean, I've been doing this a long time, and I don't think we have ever seen, especially, I mean, let's just talk about filament companies. I don't think we've ever seen a filament company do what Polymaker's done, right? Like, Polymaker hasn't been around that long as far as like as a company, right? Like, but today in 2026, like, if you think of filament, you think of Polymaker, right? Like, you guys are everywhere. Everybody knows you. Everybody likes the filament, and that happened quickly in the world of 3D printing, right? Like, that there's been older filament companies that have gone by the wayside, that aren't as popular anymore, but it's not just because the product is good, which it is, right? It's a good product, but it's also because the people selling the product or advertising the product or pushing the product are also good, right? So the team is good. You guys, and I have started to see other filament companies start to model what you guys are doing.
I was about to say the same thing.
So, Discords and nightly Discord calls and voice chats and
community
giveaways,
activity.
more giveaways, and
the give backs and the sponsorships, and I definitely see it too.
Yeah, and I would tell them, it's not just that, right? It's not just the giveaways and the community. It's
you gotta have the right people
caring about what the consumer says, right? So I've talked with you, and I've talked with other people, Matt and Pete and Sean, and like, they legitimately care what you have to say about the product, right? If you use polycarbonate or TPU, they care about your experience with it, and then they take that experience and tell the engineers and the people behind the scenes, and that matters. And I've
seen even littlest things make changes internally. That's what I've told people too. Like, when Sean does the feedback hour, the feedback you give there, it's not, does Sean think it's good feedback, or does Sean like this, or it's never a biased thing. It's if it's, hey, you think this, maybe I don't, but that's fine. I present it to the team. The team decides, is it marketable? Does it make sense? They look in the details of it. And that's where I tell everybody, when Sean says he writes something down or he sends something, we're all in like the same group chats, the product managers. We can message R&D, the sales and marketing, e-commerce. We can go in there. And there's times that, e-commerce is, there's Kevin and Chris. It can be 2 a.m. and I find a bug, or somebody mentions a bug on the site on Discord, and I'll just put it in the chat for the next morning for them to see, and they'll take care of it. And 5 minutes later, hey, it's updated, fixed. Like, and it's just it's crazy. Number one, like I said, I was just listening, but then also implementing. As I tell people, we can't grant wishes. We're not going to do everything that everybody wants. It's not feasible, but we do listen, and what makes sense for the overall consumer. I mean, we're going to make the change. We're going to do an update, whether it be to the site, an activity, or the material itself. And I love the close knit, internal structure that we have, because like I said, I'm not Mr. Technical. So of course, I'm friends with Pete and friends with Matt, and even John now is our new product manager. I can ask them questions, but even past that, if it's something super technical and they're not sure of, we can throw it in product chat. R&D can get back to us, and I can get you an answer usually within 24 hours. And I think that's amazing, just internally, of being able to grab that information from anyone at any team at any time, that we are all connected that way. So it's makes my job easier because I don't know all the technical stuff.
So and I just think it does sound corny, but I think the companies that are successful are when the customer thinks that, or knows, or at least feels that the employees in the company care, and I think that's what you guys do a good job at. And product aside, right? If the product was garbage, it would be different, but the product's good. It would be the product's good. There. So then the rest of it just kind of builds it all up. So,
and I think that's what helps too, is kind of on that is the fact that there's so many members that, of course, the closer community members know even more people because they've been around and whatnot, but there's most people that know Polymaker, or even if they're newer to the Discord, they don't just recognize me. They'll recognize Pete, or they might not recognize Sean. Is that there's multiple faces, and I think it just makes it more personable, that it's not just a bunch of people behind a desk. I have no idea who they are. I see their chats or their comments or their posts, no clue who's typing it out, and they're trying to sell me on the filament. And not that doesn't work, but I think for the most part is people want that, just a connection, to be able to have a face to the company. And that's, like I said, what's nice is it's not just, as community manager, of course, I'm out there more than anybody, but it's not just my face is recognizable. Everybody knows Nick. More people know Nick than I think recognize me. But then again, there's just multiple. Greg's done streams, Tiffany's done streams. There's just so many faces that people have been introduced to, and that's the aspect I like that we do, and I hope to do more with, of course, building our teams up and getting more and more people out there, of introducing more people and kind of what they do, and give that background view to all the consumers.
Nice. Yeah, I was gonna say, you're doing stuff right when the other companies kind of start mirroring what you guys are doing, and that's not to say that it's not like you guys invented something new. You just took the tools that you had and made them work for you. And I think the people who seek out 3D printing content, it's a small portion of the people who have 3D printers. There's a lot of people out there that don't have 3D printers, but they still come to like the regional events and stuff like that. And then people are like, they think you're the owner, of the company, and
like what Steve just said, like we are a small portion of the 3D printing population, right? The people that are obsessed with it and in it and watch the YouTube and the Twitch videos and all this stuff. But we are also the ones that are touching the other 1,000 people, right?
For 3D printing, for the brands that you use and recognize. And
so for every 3D printing addict that Polymaker communicates with, the Steves, the me's, the Additive Adams, the GTR dads, that then turns around and can touch 5, 6, 7, 8, 10,000 people. Because we're like, if someone says, hey, I need a TPU, I say, well, try Polymaker's TPU because I print it and it's good. And that's the stuff. And all the other companies know that. It's just, there's a difference between knowing it and then implementing it, right? And doing it. And I will say, in that not to keep touting the Polymaker thing, I just think that's what you guys have done very well, and like, I think a lot of us applaud you for that, because it's nice to see, the things that we want actually be made, and obviously you guys can't make everything. Everybody says every color combination or
everybody wants that new color 2 weeks later.
But like Steve and I and a lot of people have been saying, like, 2026 is the year of the TPU, so it's like, whatever's coming is gonna be good, and it's gonna be thought out and a lot of thought, but whatever, not just TPU, any other filament, but
tons of. I think we're on track that we have at least, I think, one, but more multiple releases every single month this year. Other than January, there was a January launch, but it's a little delayed. So we're going to start in February of launching new colors, upgraded product, new product. So yeah, I mean, you're going to see it across the board. And that's one thing too, is our R&D isn't always just, one thing we don't do is just jump on a trend. Like, with the big thing right now is PIBA. Not saying people's not going to stay around. There's definitely use cases for it. But there's, again, that's where I say we do a lot of marketing research. We do, what's the feasibility? And what I tell people too is, sure, like our R&D, they're top-notch people. We could start producing PIBA next week, I'm sure, if we had all the raw materials. But we don't want to just make another PIBA. Like, what can we do to make PIBA better? Of course, our big thing is printability. Maybe it's a little bit harder. I've never printed with it myself, but how can we improve your experience with it, printing with it? So it's not just a create the material and ship it, add some color dye to it, and here we go, and we're off to the races. But no, I mean, the process, even into just standard PLAs and new colors and like the no updates to the formula, it still takes a bit. There's a whole process there.
And like on this show, we've said before, like niche colors, right? Like Steve said it multiple times, like niche colors, but there's also niche material, and PIBA is one of them, right? Like it's cool, but it's a very small percentage of people in 3D printing that are ever going to print it. And
TPU
like
is moving from the niche
category.
Into like mainstream.
So even though it's easier to print now with the printers we have, there's more people printing it, but it's still, like you said, it's still a niche that even the people that are excited about PIBA, let's say we launch it, we're gonna say, I don't know the actual formula, but let's say 50% of those people that have been hyped about it this whole time will actually buy a roll, and maybe they'll do a roll, and then that's it. It's like, so we just made 500 kilograms, 1,000 kilograms, and everybody bought one roll, and that's enough for me. I printed my airless basketball. We're good to go.
Yeah. I printed one thing and now I'm good.
There's nothing wrong with selling just one roll of filament. Sometimes that happens. Well, or 30 rolls of filament. I mean,
it's okay. It's okay to sell one roll of filament to one person as long as you can do it 50,000 times.
There you go. This is true. Yeah, it's just bringing them into the ecosystem of
50,000 people buy one roll of PIBA, we'll be set. Yeah.
Or 30 people buy one roll of, let's say, you kiss your mother with that mouth filament.
How did we refer to it?
I got the reference. I figured that's where it was going.
Corey didn't get it.
Limited edition.
But that's nice though too. Is to talk about it's is it Layerworks, right?
Yeah, Layerworks. Yeah.
I thought I had that right. I want to make sure there's so many different companies, but that's what's nice though of companies like that is the smaller ones do have the ability to change things up, to change the formulas. And that's what I think. Obviously, everybody knows we love all the filament companies. It's not just, we don't just say it to be like, oh yeah, we're friendly with them, but stab them in the back when we turn around.
And I was going to bring that up. Like, you guys are very like open to other companies and talk.
And that's I think that's
negative atmosphere.
And awesome to see somebody that can start something up and have a smaller operation, because then they can do that. They can, it's a lot easier for them. They're not doing it in 500 kilogram, 1,000 kilogram process batches. There's changes they can make. They can edit the color just slightly. So no, I think that's awesome there, because it does give, I mean, the more what do I say, the more products that are out there for people, the better, whether it's from Polymaker, ideally Polymaker, but we don't make everything. We don't make all the colors. We don't make all the materials. There are plenty of other good companies out there. And I mean, I've seen, I didn't get a spool myself, but I did see you guys as, do you kiss your mother with a mouth?
You didn't get a spool? How did that happen?
No, I don't. I think I was in the camera.
Now I feel shameful. I'm like, shame.
I just didn't even know. I blame myself for not staying in the know, because I say I'm active in Discord. I obviously wasn't active enough. But I was just saying, I wasn't trying to get you guys on that. But I saw that of course cool. Several prints at 3D Printopia, and that awesome color. I mean, just a company's not going to be able to just go and produce that in bulk unless there's a demand for it, and that's where I think it's cool too, especially for you guys. Of at that point, I mean, you were not even. Have you been a year yet?
It hasn't even been a year.
No, it hasn't been a year.
It's probably not even a year in, and you're able to get a company to make it, and that's I like the accessibility is to have those options out there.
And that kind of goes back to like seeing the opportunity and like reaching out and trying to make something out of it. And like I said, you guys have poured back in the community, but I say that, but Nick used to be like the big face for Polymaker, And like now
Absolutely.
you've taken that kind of like that seat on, because people see you at least twice a week, and then they see you at events. It's taking a lot of the heavy lifting off of Nick's shoulders. But I also think Nick gave you the ability to just be Joel and not necessarily be Polymaker Joel all the time. So it allowed you to kind of like set a new like landscape of like how Polymaker interacts with the community. And I don't think that that's something that Polymaker said, hey, do this. It was just like, hey, this is what we want to do. You do it your way. And I think that's what a lot of people see, is that you're not like just, some automaton, doing
I mean,
things.
not just a show like,
Yeah,
okay, well, they give me
exactly.
a paycheck, so yeah, they're great. I love working for them. And no, that's even on personal conversations. I mean, even personal conversations with you guys, or here with people back at home, is I'm honest up front, and that's I've said, and not to be all cheesy with it, is this is the first time I've been in a position to where I can say I love what I do. And there's chaos. There is very, very busy days. There are, a lot of times a pile of this high of things to do. And sometimes it's like, oh man, that's a lot of stuff. But I still, it's something about it. I think it's just between the fact of Nick being just who he is, the compassion that guy has, the intelligence, the leadership that guy has. He's younger than me, and I look up to him. I mean, I've learned things from him tenfold of just working, alongside him for a year and a half, 2 years. And I mean that, and then just the culture of the company. I use example of Rapid earlier last year, of we had the live stream going at our booth, and we were interviewing, Tiffany was interviewing people walking by and everything. I got on a handful of times. We brought Luke in from our EU team, and then just somebody said, hey, what about Zhao Fan? And our president, our CEO, was walking out of our little employee area, and I'd walk up to him and, hey, you want to come on real quick? And he was very timid, but just to be able to walk up to the president and CEO and not be nervous. First off, like, it wasn't like a, hey, don't chew my head off, but do you mind coming on the stream? And then of course, not only does he, oh yeah, sure. And of course he's quiet and like, what do you think of the booth, everything else? And then for just, and he's not, it wasn't just for the camera. He's also like this outside the camera. It was all about team. I'm proud of what the team's done. You guys have all done great. It wasn't anything about, well, I did this, and my company did this. And it's just, I said that it's an amazing feeling to be able to work for somebody like that, for a company like that. And then again, just having a boss like I do. And definitely filling his shoes is still a hard thing to do, because I don't understand how he managed half of what he did, because he's still doing so much even past this. But and he doesn't have bags under his eyes like I do. I don't get
it. So I mean, one of the other cool things that actually, and it was just as this last 3D Printopia, is that, and for those of you that didn't get to go to 3D Printopia, or don't have the pleasure of seeing 3D Printopia after it closes, right, or before it opens, is that, so like Joel being kind of the leader of the team that is at 3D Printopia, when 3D Printopia ended, right, everybody there was tearing down the booth, ripping the poles apart. Steve and I and GTR Dad and a bunch of other people from the community were over helping Polymaker tear down their massive booth and stack it on like these pallets, and that's the things.
And then take them back off the pallets because Joel forgot the one at the very bottom.
Oh yeah.
Definitely did not happen.
Didn't happen.
But you're not just there as a face where you
show
smooth
up
with a crowd and then you're gone, right? And then all the minions tear down the booth, so that in itself also shows the culture of a thing. And I'm assuming if Nick had been there, Nick is also tearing down the booth with you guys.
Every
right?
event he's been to, he's I mean, I'll go back to Rapid again. Last year was we had some issues with the wall game. It was the first time the wall game was being put together and active, and we had some bugs because we tested it with 8 tiles, we were running it with 16. It was causing overvoltage in the USB ports, etc. Nick knows coding. I don't know what his level is, but he knows coding to an extent, enough to be able to read through this JavaScript coding and everything. Okay, hey, there's this line, here's this reference, let's change this. We were at Rapid. It was me, Pete, and Nick at Rapid the first day of setup. So it was Monday, opening up Tuesday, and we were there until 2 a.m. on the Tuesday morning, technically, getting all this coding just so we made sure that the booth was ready to go the next day. And that's right there is, and that's just one instance. I mean, every event that I've been to that he's at, he's helping. I mean, he's doing probably 50% of the work, it seems, because of how efficient the guy seems to be, but he's doing it. And then when it comes tear down, he's not I got to go schmooze with this person or schmooze with this. It's hey, we got this, and this. I mean, he's just amazing. But yeah, that was an easy thing to, learn from. I mean, I always had pride in my work anyway. I always, bust my butt. But to see, again, the guy that I would eventually call my boss doing that was like, dang, this is the right kind of leadership to be under.
Yeah. Oh, and
that's not to go to downplay. Oh, I say, go ahead.
So speaking of Rapid, you guys are going to be at 2026 April Rapid, right?
Yep.
Because okay. Yeah, that's in my neck of the woods. So I will be at that one. Okay, cool.
And I'm waiting for verification. I may or may not be there. I was originally going to be on the team for that too, but
Steve may or may not come up for it. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. I might try to come up there for it.
At least 50% of Unspooled will be there.
Yeah,
there you
hopefully
go.
100%.
There will be still. Well, this goes back on the fact that we have recognizable people in the company. Is you'll definitely see some people there that you recognize. Like I said, I might be there. Nick's decide whether it's feasible. I can survive it. He's just afraid because, of course, the end of that week is Rocky Mountain. So it would be pretty much I'd be flying out Sunday to Boston, set up on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, do the event. Friday morning, fly from Boston to Denver, set up Friday evening for the event, Saturday, Sunday, then everything come home Monday. So it'll be a lot. It's not, I've had some pretty hectic December, so I think I'm tuned in for it, but I'll try to be there. If I can be there, I'll be there. If they decide to remove me because they don't want to kill me, then so be it.
Should be a good event. So hopefully you can be there, but if not, I think everybody would understand.
It'll be a Rocky Mountain regardless.
That sounds like a crazy week. So
nice. All right, so let's get to some fun stuff. What's your favorite
this
thing
wasn't
that
fun?
printed?
Wow.
No, it wasn't. Not at all. What's some of the favorite stuff that you've printed personally? Give me one. Besides Hey.
Ooh. Can you wait? No, Hey is over there. Over there? Oh, okay. Yeah, he's over there. You can't see him. Let me think. Helmets are cool, but I don't know. Shit, of course. The one thing though, that's hard to narrow down. Honestly, probably the bingo. That's one of my favorite things because I printed it not for myself but for Nora, and to surprise her with a 2.5 foot tall bingo from the cartoon Bluey. If those don't know, nice. I keep looking over that way because he's sitting on top of my TV stand. Because she can carry around and play with it if she wants, but it's got to be safe.
I'm still listening. I just need to let the dog out real quick because he's barking crazy right now.
So now we know who let the dogs out.
It's gonna be me.
Yeah, so that's easy.
So along with what is your favorite print, what's your favorite filament to print with?
Oof. There's so many nice ones now. Okay, so I'll say there's a new color coming that I really like. That February. You can say that much. But other than that, to be able to, people could look it up. Luminous Rainbow. I mean, it's super abrasive, but Luminous Rainbow has always been my not always, but when it came out, I printed a ton. I mean, I was printing collapsible swords, dragons, just anything and everything, because I like the color, the vibrancy of the rainbow in the daylight, and then of course when you charge that stuff up, it has such an amazing glow. And that's like a lot of people when I show them, like, oh, that's really cool. And then I hit it with a UV light and shut the light off. They're like, what? It glows too, and it glows the color. And so that it was enough that I used it enough when it first came out that I was printing so much with it. That Nick, of course, there's some filaments on our website that have little silly names to it, like Pezriwinkle for Pez Liz because she loves the periwinkle. And Luminous Rainbow is Luminous Rainbow. I don't know if they've updated it. They might have cleared out by now. It's a Nighcore's magic filament. And it was just
yeah.
Nick. One time it was like he was bored. I think he was traveling to China or something, and he was going through, and he sends me the link. He's like, "Hey, check out the new filament." And I look at him like luminous rainbow. He's like, "No, look at what it's called." I seen it, so it was like, oh, and that was it. That was actually before I was working for Polymaker. So it was just I'd used it enough that even Nick knew that I loved it, and I talked about it so much. It's like, this is his filament. So I call that my creator spool unofficially.
I've had a couple spools of it. I have a spool of it now, but when I first printed with it, because it printed a pretty big model, and it had kind of like these wide bands of like green, yellow, it's like a pink or purple. There's like a few different colors in that, and I was holding it, and I was like, this doesn't glow in the dark, because I thought it glowed in the dark, and I'm like, what the heck? And I don't remember what it was. I accidentally found out that it was luminous. I set it down and I turned a light on, and the light kind of touched it thing, and I moved it away, and I looked down, and there was kind of a glowing blob on the side of the face. It was, remember the luminous rainbow, the Steve Harvey
Steve Harvey.
I had at 3D Printopia, that. And then I grabbed a light and shined it on it, and it's crazy how quick, like you put it on, take it away, and it glows. And if the longer you hold it, the longer it'll stay glowing. But it's really cool stuff. But if you are buying it, just make sure it doesn't glow in the dark. It's luminous under UV light. So
and it does glow.
Yeah.
So basically, and then for those that might get confused if they go to the website, is glow in the dark versus luminous, at least for our branding, is glow in the dark is a natural color in daylight, and it glows blue or green and when it's charged. Luminous, it's whatever color it's in daylight, it'll glow that color for the most part in dark. I think the pink is more orange is the one thing.
What about the
and something actually with the rainbow that I seen recently is Tech Jeeper. Never thought about the gradients being used on a baby belt, and the gradient way that it works is like, you'll have to check it. It looks amazing. It's like, I didn't ever think about how that prints of how it would do the gradients rather than bottom to top.
It prints at a 45. So
so it's pretty much the gradient goes sideways essentially.
Yeah,
that's actually pretty cool.
Huh.
Yeah.
Now I need a belt printer.
So Steve, while you were gone, I asked him what his favorite
I was
filament
listening.
was. So
I was still listening.
What's your favorite filament type? So are you PLA, PETG, ASA, like
PLA? Just PLA, ease of use, and the colors. I mean, that's, of course, most of you guys have seen my collection, and now with all the multicolor, printers, I love, because I'm not a painter. I don't have the skill. I don't have the patience to, I have an airbrush system that I've never used, maybe someday, but I like to be able to print the color that it is. And now that all the tool changers, the snap makers, and even though AMS stuff, I like to be able to print in color. That's, you can see the Spider-Man, of course, multicolor. You can't see it, but the Hey-Hey's multi. I like to be able to print the color that the object is, or that I want it to be. So when I need a color range, PLA is the go-to if you want a vast color range, whether it's Polymaker or not. PLA is the vast majority of colors.
Nice.
What about you, Steve? You're PLA, right?
I'm PLA. That's what I have. Is that my Polymaker show? Polymaker's been it's been that's inland. It's underneath it. That's my Polymaker show.
There you go.
Down, and then it's like I had to make a lot of room because it's growing quite a bit. But I'm also I have a micro center right next door, so I literally
so you have a full stock at all times.
Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous, dude. And so I literally run over there if I don't have anything, and find colors that match what I need it to be or whatever. So, but
that makes it so convenient.
This is my current favorite.
Was that purple? Is that the?
Nope, that's the new PETG dark gray.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the dark gray, yeah.
So I go back and forth. It's between the dark gray and the dark blue.
I like the dark green.
I love the dark blue.
That dark green looks really
good. I think this one here. Oh, that's loud.
It sounds like you were mixing. I'm just trying to do a DJ.
I am.
Right?
Come on out. Oh, I'm dropping stuff all over the place.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's the dark blue.
Dark
It does
blue.
look
Yep.
good. Yeah, it does look good.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. But
The
Th-
deep
those are
colors,
my-
especially when you can like accent them and contrast different colors.
yeah.
Like, even that dark blue and the dark gray look amazing together.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the black and the dark blue.
Well, those darks, the
new
pet
PG.
darks, kind of like look like they have a little bit of like mica texture to them, especially the green.
That's like if you look at the dark blue,
yeah,
it's
That's
weird
something in
because
it,
it
right?
does, it almost looks like it has some sparkle in it.
Yeah,
It's
so
weird.
that's so even the PLA, or I think it's PLA
Yeah.
Pro, like the dark blue,
Mhm.
is has been the same way. That's why it's not a Galaxy. I think maybe because it doesn't have a whole lot in it, but yeah, if you get it under the right light, it's got a a different sparkle. It's not like a silver sparkle. It's a different color.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't know
it
the
just
secret
has a
behind
look
that
to it.
magic.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just has it. When I first printed it, I was like, geez, I thought I mixed it up. I was like, did I grab like a Galaxy something? But it has it's a good color.
Oh yeah.
But PCG is obviously my favorite filament. So
we don't want to hold you. Appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate you having me on.
What's the next thing you guys got going?
We got 2 releases coming here in a few weeks, 2-3 weeks. Some new colors, maybe an updated formula. So nothing I can completely say yet, but yeah, some cool stuff. And then I mean the roadmap, man, if I could share that. You know, when you do a timeline, it's a straight line and everything branches off of it. It's like branch. Instead of a tree, it looks like just a shrub. There's so many branches to it. So a lot of cool things. Like I said, some stuff we're going to focus on improving. Main thing like this year with some of the older material, I want to say like older in a bad way, is bringing it up to snuff with all the high speed. Because of course now we're high speed printers. Not that you need to print everything at 600 millimeters per second, but at least getting a better base to where all of our filament is considered high speed. Now that way, then we don't have to have high speed this. Now here's PET G and then high speed PET G. Now the designations now will be more of there's PET G or there's or PLA and there's HTPLA, high temp, but all of it is essentially going to be high speed. So that's kind of one of the things we're converting things over, but the naming structure should clean up too, make it a little bit more understandable. And Chroma's still around to stay, Fibron's staying, Polymaker's staying, but as you've seen already, like PET G is no longer Polymaker Polylite PET G, just Polymaker PET G. You're going to see that more in coming product changes, formula updates. That is just going to be, we're dropping all those extra titles that nobody has a clue what it means. A new consumer, what's Polylite PET G? What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. It's just PET G. But so no, there's some cleanup, and we've taken, of course, a lot of feedback as we talked earlier that you'll see in whether it be the naming structure, the website itself, and the material. So lots to come. Lots to come.
Nice. Can't wait.
Nice. So yeah, we as usual appreciate you coming on. Probably see you in like an hour or something. But
of course.
Right.
I'll be around
9:30.
But yeah, man, we appreciate it as usual.
Awesome to see you guys keep it going with Unspooled. Like I said, I was excited when you guys started it, and
thanks,
excited
man.
to see where it goes and the opportunities you guys get.
We appreciate the support,
your own filament.
The
we
raids
appreciate
and
you guys coming
the
on.
giveaways and stuff that you've done in the past. We appreciate it 100%. But yeah, man, we're gonna kick you out of here. I don't know how to send you off because I know you, so it's weird.
No,
it's like
I'll just leave. I'll see you guys later.
See you on Discord.
See you guys.
So
like I don't know how to kick out somebody I know.
It's like well, it was like, I mean, pretty much almost everybody we've had on here, we've either known or talked to, but it's different when we have like Joel, somebody we talk to pretty regularly. But it's like, well, it'd be like if we had GTR Dad on here, we'd be like, I don't know how you could just stay the whole time, right? Like, just stay, like, just never leave. But that was fun. I mean, he's always good. Like, I think it was TechCheaper that said, this is a weird Meet the Polymaker. Right?
I saw that. I saw that.
It's like, yeah. I mean, it's basically just Meet the Polymaker, the Unspooled edition.
Big Jano and people we didn't get a chance to say hello to. Granye, thanks for the bits.
Pete reprinted. I don't know if he's still here. He
popped
I didn't get a chance to say hi. But
as usual, we appreciate you guys. We had another topic. I'm good. We don't have to cover it right now. If you want to cover it, we can, or we can save it for next week.
We can probably save it till next week because it is a long. It is a long. I think it's gonna have to be. I think it's gonna have to be a non-guest tonight.
For sure.
It is so maybe next week if we don't decide not to have a guest.
Yep.
Just because it is a
doozy. A doozy.
Yeah.
But cool. So we're gonna cut probably like a few minutes early. Fedor is streaming. He just started. So he's 3D print SOS.
Yeah, and he's on. He also dual streaming. Okay, so he's
dual streaming.
Yeah, let's raid into him.
So we're gonna raid into Fedor. As usual, we appreciate you guys. If you're in the path of the storm, stay warm. Print some snowball stuff or whatever. If you do, throw it in the Discord so we can take a look. Or print like a carrot for your snowman's nose or something.
It's gonna be like -9 here for like the next week.
We're supposed to get like a foot of snow, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But we're gonna raid in the Fedor, so I'm kicking my ass off right now.
Yeah. All right. Later, guys.
Later.